What if the cure for your chronic pain isn't in a pharmacy, but stuck to the bottom of your shoe? Revelation 22, verse 2, tells us the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Stick around, because number 13 was the secret used to break bone-crushing fevers in the 1800s. And number 1 is an ancient medical superpower that rivals modern pharmaceutical ointments. Subscribe and comment Amen below to join our community. By the end, you will realize why number 20 was so perfect that humans actually made it worse by trying to improve it. We begin on the surface, with the plants that stop the bleeding before the battle is even over. Number 1. Plantain, the biological vacuum. Imagine a plant so persistent it earned the name white man's footprint because it seemed to rise wherever a boot touched the soil. You likely stepped on it today without a second thought, dismissing it as a mere garden nuisance. But how can a common weed pull poison directly out of your bloodstream? The scripture tells us that the humble shall inherit the earth, and this modest leaf is living proof of that ancient promise. Native Americans watched this plant follow European settlers across the frontier and quickly realized it was a heavenly gift for the new stings and bites they encountered in the wilderness. Modern science now reveals that it contains aucubin to pull toxins and allantoin to trigger rapid skin repair. However, there is a secret to its power, the spit poultice. You do not boil this leaf or process it in a machine, you chew it. Your own saliva enzymes actually activate the medicinal compounds within the plant. Simply mash the fresh leaves and apply them directly to bee stings, spider bites, or painful rashes. It is a humbling realization that we search for miracles in high-tech laboratories while a masterpiece of healing is literally under our feet. But if the skin is torn and the blood won't stop, you need the legendary hero of Troy. Number 2. Yarrow, the soldier's woundwort. Think of this as the styptic pencil of the deep woods. For many, the sight of a bleeding artery is a cause for panic, yet for centuries, a single flower has been known to stop such a crisis in seconds. History tells us that the great warrior Achilles used this very plant on the battlefields of Troy to stop his men from bleeding out in the heat of combat. The secret lies in a chemical called achilline, which physically forces the blood to clot almost upon contact. There is a fascinating paradox within this plant. It is a master of blood. When applied externally, it stops a bleed instantly, but when drunk as a warm tea, it promotes internal circulation and moves stagnant energy. To prepare for an emergency, you should dry the flowers, grind them into a fine powder, and keep them in your hiking kit. It is a remarkable plant that knows exactly how to handle blood, which is the very fluid of life. While it manages the immediate crisis of a wound, we must also ensure that once the bleeding stops, the skin knits back together perfectly without a scar. For that, we look to a flower as bright as the morning sun. Number 3. Calendula, the warflower. It may seem strange, but modern oncology wards are now turning back to a medieval flower to treat patients. This bright orange bloom has a history of saving lives in the most desperate of times. During World War I, when pharmaceutical antiseptics ran out in the field hospitals, doctors used calendula petals to save thousands of limbs from the horrors of gangrene. The secret is in the triterpenoids, which act as biological recruiters, signaling your skin cells to replicate at 2 times their normal speed. This plant does not just heal, it disinfects while it works, making it the original, natural version of Neosporin. To use it, you must infuse the dried petals in high-quality olive oil for 4 weeks to create what herbalists call a liquid bandage. It is a cheery flower, yet it is battle-tested and rugged. Calendula represents nature's grace under pressure, providing a soothing touch that can rebuild what has been broken. We often forget that the most powerful medicines are not always found in a bottle, but in the vibrant colors of a garden that has survived the ages. By looking closer at these forgotten blooms, we find a bridge between ancient wisdom and the clinical needs of today. Number 4, Self-Heal, the biofilm buster. In the quiet corners of your garden grows a plant that can actually outsmart the most sophisticated bacteria known to man. Have you ever wondered why some infections seem to linger forever, refusing to yield to even the most expensive modern medicine? The answer lies in a biological fortress called a biofilm. This is a microscopic cloaking device that bacteria use to hide from our strongest antibiotics, essentially building a shield that drugs cannot penetrate. While many synthetic treatments simply bounce off this protective layer, Self-Heal is designed by nature to shatter it completely. It does not just attack the invaders, it destroys the very house they live in, leaving them exposed and defenseless. What makes this humble plant truly extraordinary is its rare ability to combat both internal and external viruses, providing a level of protection that few modern drugs can match. It has been used for generations to soothe the persistent irritation of cold sores and other viral outbreaks. For those struggling with a stubborn, painful sore throat that simply will not quit, a strong tea made from this plant serves as the perfect gargle to clear the path for total recovery. It is a profound reminder that nature does not just provide us with tools for war, it provides us with the divine intelligence to dismantle the enemy's defenses from the inside out. When we use Self-Heal, we are tapping into an ancient wisdom that understood the nature of stealth and biological fortresses long before we had microscopes to see them. Number 5, Usnea, the tree lung. High above the forest floor, hanging like the silver hair of an old man from the branches of ancient oaks, lives a creature that is not a plant at all. Usnea is a biological marriage, a sacred union between a fungus and an algae, working together in perfect harmony to survive the harshest elements. This unique life form contains usnic acid, a compound so potent that modern researchers have found it effective even against the dreaded hospital superbug known as MRSA. It is a hidden sentinel of the woods, guarding the health of the trees and offering that same miraculous protection to those who know how to harvest its secrets. There is a fascinating mystery in its physical form. When you pull the lichen apart, the internal structure looks remarkably like the delicate bronchial tissues of a human lung. In the ancient tradition of medicine, this was a sign that the organism was meant to treat respiratory distress, and modern science confirms that it heals exactly that. However, to unlock its true power, you must remember that water alone will not work. You must create a tincture using alcohol to properly extract the medicinal acids. Once prepared, this liquid becomes a formidable defense against deep-seated skin infections that refuse to heal by conventional means. It is a living bridge between the clean air of the forest and the strength of our own bodies, reminding us that sometimes the most complex cures are found in the simplest of unions. It stands as a testament to the fact that the most powerful antibiotics on earth have been hanging from the trees, quietly waiting for us to notice them. Number 6. Mullein, the velvety expectorant. Let us consider the velvet-leaved guardian of the mountain trails, a plant often found standing tall in the dusty soils of the American West. Known to many hikers and explorers as cowboy toilet paper due to its incredibly soft and large fuzzy leaves, this plant is far more than a simple wilderness convenience. It is actually a biological detergent for your respiratory system, acting as a natural soap for the lungs. The leaves are rich in saponins, which work to break up stubborn mucus and clear the chest during times of deep congestion. While it may sound entirely counterintuitive to the modern ear, traditional herbalists and even modern researchers have documented that smoking the dried leaves can provide almost instant relief for asthma attacks. The fine smoke carries the medicinal compounds directly to the inflamed bronchial tissues, relaxing the airways and allowing the breath to flow freely once again. It is a humble roadside companion that has watched over travelers for centuries, offering a soft touch to the skin and a deep, refreshing cleansing to the lungs. Whether brewed into a soothing tea or used in more traditional ways, this plant serves as a bridge between the physical comfort of the earth and the vital, life-giving rhythm of our every breath. It is nature's way of ensuring that even in the dustiest environments, our lungs can remain clear and strong. Number 7. White horehound, the original cough drop. Long before the colorful lozenges we find in modern pharmacies existed, our ancestors relied on the bitter, crinkled leaves of white horehound. This plant was so effective at clearing the throat and lungs that it was the primary ingredient in the most popular cough candies of the 19th century. The secret behind its success is a unique compound called marobein. When this substance touches your system, it triggers a physical response in your bronchial tubes, forcing them to thin out thick, stubborn secretions. It does not simply suppress your cough, it makes your cough efficient, helping you to finally clear the infection out of your body. In the Bible, bitter herbs were often used as a reminder of past hardships, but in the world of medicine, that bitterness is a sign of immense power. White horehound belongs to the mint family, but it carries a rugged strength that its sweeter cousins lack. To use it, you can simmer the leaves into a potent syrup with honey, creating a natural expectorant that is safe for the whole family. It is a testament to historical wisdom that even today, some of the most effective traditional European cough syrups still list this humble plant as a key ingredient. It reminds us that the best solutions are often the ones that have stood the test of time and generations. Number 8. Elecampane, the deep lung tonic. If white horehound is the specialist for a sudden cough, elecampane is the master physician for deep, chronic lung distress. This plant grows tall with massive leaves and bright, sunflower-like blooms, but its true magic is hidden beneath the soil in its thick, aromatic roots. For centuries, herbalists have turned to these roots to treat the most stubborn respiratory conditions, from lingering bronchitis to the rattle that remains in the chest months after a cold has passed. The roots are rich in inulin and volatile oils that possess powerful antiseptic qualities, specifically targeting the lower reaches of the pulmonary system where bacteria often hide. The ancient Greeks dedicated this plant to Helen of Troy, believing that it sprang from her tears, but its modern application is rooted in hard science. It acts as a warming tonic, moving stagnant fluids and bringing heat back into a cold, damp chest. To harness its power, the roots should be harvested in the fall and prepared as a long-simmered decoction or a tincture. It is a slow-acting but deep-reaching medicine, teaching us the value of patience in the healing process. When the breath is shallow and the chest feels heavy with the weight of time, elecampane stands ready to restore the deep, life-giving oxygen that our bodies crave to survive and thrive. Number 9. Barberry, the natural metformin. Travel back over 2,000 years and you would find the thorny barberry shrub being prized by healers from the ancient courts of Persia to the dynasty gardens of China. In the modern age, we are rediscovering that this plant contains berberine, a compound that has become the gold standard for gut health and insulin sensitivity. Many health-conscious seniors find that it regulates their blood sugar as effectively as common pharmaceuticals, making it a natural ally for metabolic health. It is a biological marvel that bridges the gap between the Silk Road and the modern clinic. Ancient texts describe it as a purifier of the blood, a role that modern science now confirms through its impact on the internal microbiome and systemic inflammation. There is a fascinating irony in its nature that most people overlook. In many parts of the world, barberry is so aggressive and hardy that it is officially banned as an invasive species. Yet, this very aggression is exactly what we need when our bodies are being attacked by invasive gut bacteria or fungal overgrowth. It is a fierce botanical warrior that takes no prisoners. By harvesting the bright yellow inner bark of its roots, you are tapping into a medicine that has stood the test of time and survived the harshest environments. Number 10. Oregon grape, the skin and liver guardian. Despite its name, Oregon grape is not a grape at all, but a spiny evergreen shrub that carries the same potent berberine found in barberry. This plant is a specialist in the deep connection between the liver and the skin. Traditional healers understood that when the liver becomes sluggish and can no longer filter toxins, those impurities often manifest on the surface as psoriasis, eczema, or persistent rashes. Oregon grape acts as an internal cleanser, stimulating the flow of bile and purifying the blood, which in turn allows the skin to clear from the inside out. It is a bridge between our internal filtration system and our outward appearance. Modern clinical trials have even shown that a topical cream made from Oregon grape can significantly reduce the symptoms of chronic skin conditions, proving that ancient wisdom matches modern dermatology. The plant is rugged and resilient, much like the people of the Pacific Northwest who first utilized its secrets. To use it, the yellow inner bark of the root is typically prepared as a tincture or a salve. It reminds us that our skin is a mirror of our internal health, and by tending to the garden within, we can restore the vibrant glow of our youth. It is a powerful ally for anyone seeking to maintain their vitality and clarity as they navigate the golden years of life. Number 11. Yellow dock, the blood purifier. Yellow dock is a tall, sturdy weed with a deep yellow taproot that signifies its immense power as a liver stimulant. For centuries, old-fashioned herbalists referred to it as an alterative, or what we now call a blood purifier. Its primary mission is to support the body's natural elimination processes by stimulating bile production and moving stagnant waste out of the liver and gallbladder. If you suffer from sluggish digestion, chronic constipation, or skin conditions like acne and psoriasis, Yellow dock is the internal janitor you need. The bitterness of the root is the secret key. It triggers a cascade of digestive enzymes that remind your body how to process fats, and eliminate toxins properly. In the wisdom of the ancient world, the health of the skin was always seen as a direct reflection of the health of the liver. By taking a small regular dose of yellow dock tincture, you are not just treating a surface symptom, you are performing a deep internal cleansing of your entire system. This plant does not force the body like a harsh laxative. Instead, it provides the gentle, steady encouragement your organs need to function as they were divinely designed. It is a humble roadside companion with a deep reach, proving that the most effective internal allies are often found in the very soil we walk upon every single day of our lives. Number 12. Agrimony, the throat soother. Agrimony was a beloved favorite of medieval herbalists. Prized for its unique ability to tone and tighten the delicate mucous membranes of the body. Known as the throat soother, it has a long history as a gargle for singers and speakers who have pushed their voices to the limit. But the true genius of agrimony lies in its sophisticated use of the wisdom of bitters. This plant is a powerful digestive ally that specifically targets the lining of the gut, using its astringent properties to seal and protect inflamed tissue. For those struggling with mild diarrhea or digestive upset, where the system feels loose and ungrounded, agrimony provides the necessary structure to bring things back into balance. The plant is easily recognized by its tall, golden spikes of tiny yellow flowers that carry a mild, apricot-like aroma. However, do not let the pleasant scent fool you. The medicine within is a serious tonic for internal cleansing. It works by encouraging the body to move through stagnant states, whether they be in the urinary tract or the intestinal walls. By utilizing a strong tea made from the dried aerial parts, you're invoking a traditional remedy that has calmed the fires of inflammation for over 1,000 years. It is a graceful reminder that healing often begins when we simply provide our bodies with the gentle toning required to remain resilient against the stresses of the modern world. Number 13. Boneset, the flue smasher. During the 19th century, a terrifying ailment swept through the American countryside known as breakbone fever. It was a form of influenza so severe that victims felt as though their very skeletons were being crushed under an invisible weight. In those desperate times, before the age of modern hospitals, entire villages were saved by a plant known as boneset. Healers would gather the white, flat-topped clusters of flowers and brew a hot tea that acted as a formidable flue smasher. It was a staple in every frontier household, a trusted sentinel against the seasonal plagues that haunted the early settlers of this nation. However, there is a legendary secret to how this plant works its magic on the human frame. If you were to taste this infusion today, you might describe it as liquid death. It is an intensely bitter brew, yet that very bitterness serves as a vital biological signal to the brain and the gut. The moment those bitter compounds hit your tongue, they wake up your immune system, triggering a rapid response from your white blood cells to hunt down and destroy viral invaders. It is a harsh medicine for a harsh condition. While it may not be pleasant to consume, it reminds us that true healing often requires a shock to the system to reignite our natural defenses. Number 14. Sea buckthorn, the radiation shield. Deep within the harsh, high-altitude climates of the Himalayas and the freezing plains of Siberia grows a spiny shrub laden with bright orange berries. This is sea buckthorn, a plant that possesses a nutritional profile so complex it defies modern logic. It is the only plant on the entire planet that contains the full spectrum of omega fatty acids, including omegas 3, 6, 7, and 9. While most people turn to fish oil for their healthy fats, this tiny berry offers a complete plant-based alternative that supports everything from cardiovascular health to the integrity of our delicate skin and mucous membranes as we age. The true secret of its power was realized during the height of the space race. Russian cosmonauts used the potent oil from these berries to protect their skin from the intense cosmic radiation they faced while orbiting the Earth in the early days of space exploration. It is a biological radiation shield that thrives where almost nothing else can survive. In our modern world, where we are constantly exposed to environmental stressors and invisible energies, this ancient berry provides a layer of internal armor that is truly unmatched. It is a masterpiece of divine engineering, packing an entire pharmacy into a single fruit. Number 15. Red clover, the lymphatic alchemist. Red clover is often dismissed as a common lawn weed or mere cattle feed, but for those who understand the mysteries of the lymphatic system, it is an alchemist of the highest order. Think of your lymphatic system as the internal plumbing of your body, responsible for moving waste out of your tissues and keeping your immune system vigilant. When this system becomes stagnant, we experience swollen glands, skin breakouts, and a general sense of heavy lethargy. Red clover acts as a gentle yet profound internal cleanser, moving through these pipes to break up stagnation and restore the flow of life-giving fluids. It is particularly valued by many in the autumn of their lives, as its rich concentration of isoflavones provides a natural, plant-based balance to shifting hormones. In the folk traditions of old, this plant was often included in formulations meant to clean the blood, a term we now understand as supporting the liver and lymph in their daily detoxification duties. It is a masterpiece of divine engineering, turning a simple field flower into a powerful tool for maintaining vitality and grace as we age. For the most effective use, harvest the blossoms during the height of summer and dry them for a nourishing infusion that can be enjoyed daily. It does not provide the jarring shock of a chemical detox. Instead, it works with the natural rhythms of your body. Number 16. Blue vervain, the sacred nerve tonic. Step into the world of ancient herbalism, and you will find blue vervain standing as one of the most sacred plants in human history, often referred to as the herb of grace. For the high-achieving, overstressed individual, the person who carries the weight of the world on their shoulders until their neck is stiff and their mind won't shut down, this plant is a divine intervention. While many modern remedies focus on sedating the symptoms of anxiety, blue vervain utilizes the wisdom of bitters to perform a deep internal cleansing of the spirit and the liver. Traditional healers understood that a congested liver often leads to a congested temper and an overactive ego. This plant's intense bitterness is a biological signal that forces the nervous system to let go of its fight-or-flight grip and return to a state of calm. It was historically believed to have been used to staunch the wounds of the Savior, earning it a place of deep reverence in early Christian lore. Beyond the spiritual, modern science points toward iridoids that calm the central nervous system without causing the foggy lethargy of synthetic pills. It acts as an internal regulator, reminding your body how to relax while simultaneously supporting the liver in filtering out toxic byproducts. To use it, brew a cup of tea from the dried aerial parts, and embrace the bitter flavor. That sensation is the key that unlocks the door to a tranquil mind. Number 17. Toothache plant, the electric daisy. Imagine biting into a small, innocent-looking flower and suddenly feeling the equivalent of a 9-volt battery touching your tongue. This is the electric daisy, a remarkable plant that provides a sensory experience unlike any other in the botanical world. The moment its petals touch your gums, a vivid sensation of tingling electricity spreads, followed quickly by a profound and total numbness. This immediate reaction is caused by spilantol, a natural local anesthetic that numbs nerve endings on contact, making it an essential emergency tool for anyone suffering from dental pain or painful oral ulcers. But the secrets of the toothache plant go far beyond the dentist's chair. In the sophisticated world of high-end luxury cosmetics, this plant is a secret agent used in the most expensive anti-aging creams. It acts as a form of natural Botox, gently freezing the tiny micro-muscles in the face to smooth out wrinkles and fine lines without the need for painful needles or harsh synthetic chemicals. Whether you are seeking immediate relief from a throbbing tooth or looking to preserve a youthful and vibrant glow, this tiny flower offers a potent spark of healing power. It is a vivid example of how a single plant can serve our most basic survival needs, while also honoring our desire for beauty and grace as we age. Number 18. Sassafras, the historical blood purifier. Sassafras holds a legendary place in American history, once considered a commodity so valuable that it was exported back to Europe as a miracle cure-all, sometimes fetching prices higher than gold. Native Americans and early pioneers prized the spicy, aromatic root bark as the ultimate spring tonic, designed to thin the blood and wake up the body after a long, stagnant winter. This plant is the very definition of an internal cleanser, historically used to treat everything from rheumatism to persistent fevers by flushing the system and stimulating the sweat glands. Its distinctive scent was once the soul of every root beer found in the general stores of the frontier. However, the story of sassafras comes with a modern twist that requires us to respect both history and science. In the mid-20th century, the compound known as saffrole was found to have potential toxic effects in high doses, leading to a ban on its commercial use in food. This has turned sassafras into a forbidden tonic in the eyes of the law. Yet it remains a cornerstone of traditional Appalachian folk medicine. It serves as a profound lesson in the power of nature and the necessity of moderation. While the isolated compound may pose risks, the whole root was used responsibly by generations to purify the internal environment of the body. It reminds us that our ancestors possessed a rugged wisdom about the earth. Number 19. Comfrey, the bone knitter. In the sacred writings of the prophet Ezekiel, the profound question is asked, can these bones live? For those who have discovered the ancient power of the comfrey plant, the answer is a resounding yes. Historically known by the descriptive name knit bone by generations of country healers, this plant possesses an almost supernatural ability to repair the human frame and mend what has been broken. The scientific secret behind this miracle is a compound called allantoin, which sends a powerful biological signal to your bone and skin cells to divide and fuse at a highly accelerated rate. It is as if the plant provides both the blueprint and the high-speed fuel for the body to reconstruct its own tissues. However, this immense power comes with a very serious warning that every wise gardener must heed. Comfrey heals so incredibly fast that if you apply it to a wound that has not been perfectly cleaned, it will seal the bacteria and infection deep inside the skin before the body can flush them out. You must ensure the injury is sterile before letting this powerful bone knitter do its work. When used correctly as a warm poultice, it transforms a long and painful recovery into a miracle of restoration, proving that nature holds the spark to reignite our divine process of physical repair. Number 20. Meadowsweet, the original aspirin. We come finally to the greatest paradox in the history of modern medicine. A plant so perfect that when humans tried to improve it, they actually made it dangerous. Have you ever wondered why a synthetic pill from a laboratory causes painful stomach ulcers, while the very plant it was derived from actually cures them? This mystery brings to mind the ancient wisdom that God's ways are higher than man's ways, and nature's original designs often hold a divine balance that we simply cannot replicate in a test tube. In the year 1897, researchers isolated a compound called salicin from the delicate, almond-scented flowers of meadowsweet to create the first aspirin. Modern science now reveals that meadowsweet contains high levels of tannins and mucilage, which act as natural stomach buffers. While the isolated chemical in a laboratory pill attacks the delicate lining of your gut, the whole plant provides a soothing, protective layer that prevents irritation and heals inflammation. It is truly the original pill with the protection already built in by the Creator. If you find yourself struggling with a pounding headache or the burning discomfort of heartburn, a warm tea made from these fragrant blossoms offers a sophisticated solution that honors the integrity of your body. We isolated the active ingredient because we wanted rapid power, but in doing so, we threw away the balance that makes true healing possible. The next time you walk past a ditch filled with wild, white growth, do not see a common weed. See a survivor waiting to save you. In our rush to the future, we have abandoned the very things that got us here. Healing is not something we simply buy. It is a sacred relationship we rebuild with the earth. We hope you found deep value in these ancient remedies today. Please comment below with one thing you learned or a plant you loved most from this list. Do not keep this sacred knowledge to yourself. Share this video with your friends and family so they can heal too. And remember to subscribe to our channel for more wisdom. Which of these forgotten healers is growing in your backyard right now? Comment the word roots below if you're ready to take back your health.